Here's what we're talking about in our lineup today on The Now. Some movies on Disney's new streaming service are coming with a new warning about outdated cultural references. And now there's a debate if this goes too far or far enough. And our pets are like family, and now scientists are working to figure out how to keep them healthier longer. They're looking for 10,000 dogs as part of this new effort, and you can help. And the idea behind boycotting gifts this holiday season and how to get family and friends on board.
Thank you, Annie. I'm Amanda Starantino, and this is The Now Indy. Southside residents say they are tired of drivers burning rubber where children's play. Frustrated from not getting results, residents reached out to us. Tonight, RTV6's Troy Washington is working for you to get answers.
Here's the issue. Residents say drivers are speeding past a broken speed bump, even though speed limit signs are clearly posted. Joshua Newbold says most of the speeding happens once the Bradford Lakes leasing office is closed for the day.
When nobody's in the office, it's like a free-for-all because it's a straight shot from stop 11 to stop 10. And I think they use that as a way to try to avoid the intersection at stop 11 in Madison.
Newbold doesn't care why drivers are cutting through. He just thinks something needs to be done to slow them down. In September, Newbold says he went to a community meeting and told property managers something needs to be done before the unthinkable happens. On top of that, anytime he hears screeching tires, he calls police.
And my main concern is for the children, obviously, because a lot of the kids ride their bikes in the streets, play with basketballs in the street, you know. God forbid a kid gets hit.
RTV6 talked to property managers. They tell us they plan on fixing the broken speed bump. And there are also plans in the works to freshen up paint on the road to make the speed bumps more visible to drivers. Newbold says he's not trying to start problems, but he does want drivers to slow down driving through his neighborhood. Working for you on the South Side, Troy Washington, RTV6.
The complex could not give us a timeline as to when the changes will be made, only that the improvements are on their radar and will happen. We will stay on top of this story and keep you updated. And part of our Hiring Hoosiers initiative here at RTV6 is helping people overcome workplace barriers. That includes issues that are exclusive to the LGBTQ plus community. The Indy Pride organization started its workplace workshops about a year ago. The goal is to get large companies together to talk about how they can make their offices LGBTQ inclusive. The workshop has now grown to almost 100 businesses, and organizers say they are getting results.
Every time that I talk with someone from the community that's part of these organizations, they are really proud that their company is participating. They're really proud that their company is present at Pride, and they're really proud that the place that they spend a lot of their time is affirming of who they are.
Anberg says the group talks about things like what is appropriate to ask someone in an interview and how to use appropriate language in emails to make everyone feel included. If you think your company would like to be part of these workshops, you can find out more about them at our website, hiringhoosiers.com.
There they are, kind of the nondescript clouds layered across central Indiana, what we call stratus clouds. They're hanging out about 3,000 to 4,000 feet over your head. They'll be hard to break up tonight, but we'll try for partly cloudy skies. And again, during the day tomorrow, a mixture of clouds and sunshine. West-northwest wind, that will allow these temperatures to drop, in some cases about 15 to 20 degrees by morning low. Bloomington's at 40, Indy at 38. I think upper teens to low 20s should do it. Temperatures even to the north, Lafayette and Peru, the freezing mark. That's an accomplishment. 37 in Muncie. Temperatures to the south right at 40. Wind hasn't been too strong, and when we had the sunshine today and temperatures around 40, it felt tremendous. Warmest temperatures we've had since, well, last Sunday. Remember that? We hit 61, and then we had our snow on Monday. Through the evening hours, lots of clouds, and that slows the temperature drop, but we'll still be in the mid-20s at 11 o'clock tonight. This is what you wake up to in the morning. Temperatures upper teens to lower 20s. We'll talk about how that changes for Friday afternoon and the trend that will take us through the weekend into next week coming up.
The El Paso Walmart, where a mass shooting took place just 3 months ago, reopened to the public today. Now, it didn't come with any big ceremony. It was more of a quiet event for employees returning to work, where 22 people lost their lives.
Through this process of rebuilding and getting the store put back together, you can see the laughters, the smiles, the applause between each other.
Mass shooting expert Jacqueline Schildkraut says while it's not unusual for public locations of mass shootings to reopen, it's still certainly traumatic. Now, employees may experience difficult moments for quite some time.
Certainly, we know that stores like Walmart, when there's so many customers, can be very noisy. Things can drop, which may sound like gunshots and can be triggering to individuals. So there's a lot of different things in that environment, just, on a daily basis that may take them back to that shooting.
Walmart has since hired off-duty officers at the store. Some survivors are suing over a lack of security. Shield Kraut says hopefully there are grief counselors there today and long-term plans to assist employees.
These individuals are likely still very much in shock, thinking that the right thing to do, if you will, is to get back to normal, which you never really do. You get to a new normal. But recognizing that this trauma recovery process isn't something that's going to have worked itself out in the last couple of months, that it's a long process.
A permanent memorial is being built outside the store. The community is having a giving day today, encouraging people to donate money or time to El Paso charities. Walmart announced it will match up to $1.5 million in grants. ElPasoGivingDay.org has all the information. Well, the Department of Homeland Security is seeing success in cracking down on child exploitation cases. The Associated Press found that investigators were able to identify more than 1,000 victims in the past fiscal year. DHS was also able to make thousands of arrests. The department is opening a new center where it will be able to notify other countries when a sex offender from the U.S. is traveling there. Well, back to our lineup. Our pets, they're like family, and now scientists are working to figure out how to keep them healthier longer. They're looking for 10,000 dogs as part of this new effort. How you can help coming up. You're watching The Now.
402-7464.
If you are thinking about giving a deserving pet a new home just in time for the holidays, Indianapolis Animal Care Services has just the opportunity for you. These are some of the animals that will be up for adoption during tomorrow night's special late-night adopt-a-thon. IACS needs to free up kennel space. All adoptions will be free during the event, and the first 25 dogs and 10 cats adopted during the night adoption will go home with a special adoption kit. It runs tomorrow night from 6 to 10 at IACS, 2600 South Harding. Another way to make a difference this holiday season is by taking part in the Six Shines On Toy Drive. Our annual toy drive kicks off tomorrow during the new Christmas Nights of Lights at the State Fairgrounds. Bring a toy and receive a discount on an Indy Fuel ticket. Also, a portion of the proceeds from tomorrow's Lights event will go to the toy drive.
Checking in on the Now News feed. A new study says babies and toddlers are getting sugars they shouldn't be. Researchers found 98% of those children are getting added sugar through their diet. The American Heart Association says this age group shouldn't have any. A judge says a Kentucky man will be allowed to customize his license plate with the words, "I'm God." The state transportation department initially denied the request, saying it went against anti-discrimination rules. Well, Target is making same-day delivery available on its app. So previously you had to order it through their website, but there will still be a $9.99 delivery fee. Man's best friend may hold the answers to some questions about how we age, and that's why universities have teamed up to launch the Dog Aging Project.
Dogs age much more quickly than humans do, and so understanding how to keep dogs healthier longer is going to be good for dogs and good for the people who love dogs.
Researchers are looking for dogs of all ages and breeds to study over the next decade. Now, they need 10,000 volunteers from all over the country. Now, these are pets that live in people's homes, not lab dogs. And they want to study their environment and everything that impacts aging in hopes of helping other dogs live longer.
We actually have pretty limited idea about things like diet and how diet affects aging in dogs. What's the optimal diet? These are things that we can discover.
Dog owners can nominate their canines as candidates for study on dogagingproject.org. Now, you have to be willing to share vet records and other personal info. The larger purpose of the campaign is to pick up new clues about the aging process in people. Dogs and humans share the same environment. They get the same diseases, and with dogs' shorter lifespans, it will allow quicker research results. Well, ahead in our lineup, a unique program is working to reconnect young people to society.
It's not your typical job. It's not your typical restaurant. We come in here to change lives.
How this cafe is teaching young adults much more than just culinary skills.
Only on RTV6 News.
A new test of black market THC vaping cartridges is raising serious concerns about what they're producing. The analysis done by a California lab found the vapor from the products has a number of dangerous compounds in it, including formaldehyde. Now, CannaSafe also found the 6 cartridges it tested had high quantities of pesticides. This is reportedly one of the first studies looking specifically at the vapor. Well, across the U.S., there are millions of young people referred to as disconnected youth. These are people between the ages of 16 and 24 who are neither in school nor working. But in one city, an unusual program is looking to reconnect these young people to society. And as Maya Rodriguez shows us, it's happening in a delicious setting.
Just before the lunch rush at this New Orleans restaurant, the hottest spot is the kitchen. This is Cafe Reconcile, a restaurant that caters to both customers.
So we want every scoop of peach cobbler to have a peach in it.
And its employees.
And it's not your typical job. It's not your typical restaurant. We come in here to change lives.
The cafe specializes in teaching culinary skills to disadvantaged young people. Training them to take on all aspects of restaurant work. But it goes beyond that, offering counseling and teaching classes on life skills, like how to open a bank account.
This amount 1 month, this amount. Right.
No one's forcing them to come here. They want to change in their life. They want to transform in their life.
Ahmad Lott felt that firsthand.
To be honest, I wasn't in a great situation.
Several years ago, Lott was facing mental health issues. He got help and eventually rose through the ranks at Cafe Reconcile to become a trainer to others dealing with similar circumstances.
That was me, a few years ago. And it's like, I barely know this young person, but to know that their story resonates with my story so deeply in a way that, we can share our experiences and grow together.
Several thousand young people have graduated from Cafe Reconcile since it began more than 2 decades ago. But the issue of disconnected youth is not limited to New Orleans. A Tulane University study found that across the country, there are 6.7 million disconnected youth, costing the U.S. economy $93 billion a year in lost tax revenues and needed social services.
The way we look at it is that our young people don't have anything wrong with them. What they have that many young people do not have is support.
It's a support Ahmad Lott says he's grateful for.
That gave me that avenue, that gave me that channel to really make something of myself.
He's now also worked in a 5-star restaurant in the French Quarter, following in the footsteps of thousands of others who found refuge at Reconcile. In New Orleans, I'm Maya Rodriguez reporting.
Maya, thank you. Well, since Cafe Reconcile began 2 decades ago, other cities like Colorado Springs and Indianapolis have set up restaurants with similar missions. Well, there's a new study, and it says that states aren't doing enough to improve recycling across the country. Public interest research groups found there isn't enough being done to cut down on unnecessary waste. It also found there's a failure to adapt to new recycling standards. And when it came to states that were having some success, Oregon, Virginia, and Pennsylvania topped that list.
A larger-than-life visitor helps patients at Riley Hospital for Children learn more about STEM. Olive, a 6-foot-tall baby stegosaurus, helped to guide children through a bingo activity that also taught them about science, technology, engineering, and math. The tiny dinosaur is part of the Jurassic World Live Tour, making a stop in town. Riley kids and their families got the chance today to break up the daily ins and outs of hospital life, jumping back in time to learn about science.
The kids didn't seem scared.
It was a little scary looking. I'm surprised. I'd be a little confused if I saw that down the hallway.
Yeah, they probably have not come face to face with a dinosaur before. That is an herbivore, though, so that's the good news. It was probably at the salad bar later. Temperatures there in the 30s. There's the veil of cloud cover that was looking to the north. This is looking to the west, and if we look hard, you can see where there's some cracks in the cloud cover, giving us a little color here for the sunset. Temperature in Indy's 38, Greenwood right in there. Warmer in Bloomington, where temperatures peaked in the low 40s today. With the cloud cover tonight breaking up a little bit, temperatures will fall into the lower 20s to upper teens. There's your temperature progression. Generally a slow temperature drop until we see some breaks in the cloud cover. Oftentimes we use our TrueCast model to pinpoint timing and location for precipitation. Since the forecast is dry, I'm just going to let this fly here from now on through Saturday, and you'll see all the battle will be just with some cloud cover. Not expecting any weather systems to produce any form of precipitation until maybe a couple of sprinkles for northwest Indiana. That would come on Sunday. Tomorrow, right around 20 degrees to begin the day. Your lunchtime temperature 34. Be patient. I think it'll take a little while to get more and more sunshine into the picture. 38 the afternoon high temperature in Indianapolis. Those to the north, you miss that just by a couple degrees, and then right back at 40 in Bloomington and Columbus. Saturday forecast should be all familiar. Not as cold in the morning hours to start. Afternoon temperatures in the low 40s. Sunday will be warmer. Early next week, warmest. We'll show you the 4-day outlook coming up.
Checking the Now news feed, U.S. households are dealing with record debt. The New York Federal Reserve says the total sits at $14 trillion, and mortgages currently make up the majority of that debt. A big bust at the George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston. Customs and Border Protection officers seized hundreds of thousands of dollars in liquid cocaine. The suspect tried to smuggle in the drugs in shampoo bottles. Well, the FBI is also making a major bust. Agents uncovering a counterfeit iPhone scheme, and it was valued at more than $6 million. Investigators say that those involved imported more than 10,000 fake devices from China, and then they exchanged them at Apple stores and then sent the real devices back to China. Well, nearly 2/3 of people feel pressured to overspend during the holidays, not just on presents, but travel, parties, and charities as well. Bankrate found people are more open to a variety of ways to save, including skipping gifts altogether. But how do you go about telling friends and family that you're not buying presents this year without sounding like a total Scrooge? So we talked to a manners mentor about cutting back on gift giving. Now, she says it's perfectly acceptable. It's just all in how you handle it.
And the best way to do it is to be polite and to be forthright, and also to let the people on your list know the reasoning behind. Because if you just say, I'm not buying this year, you can come across as a dropout or someone who just doesn't care.
Marilee Mickey says give as much notice as possible because people are buying presents like now. Talk to family members that might be most receptive to the idea first, and then they can help get others on board.
The important thing is we were thinking. Now it's not just about, me and what I want. It's about, more members of the family want this. We are in this together. Do you want to join us?
Mickey also says propose other ideas instead of gifts. Maybe you focus on traditions and spending time with each other.
Because if you think about it, try to name 5 presents you were given last holiday season and who gave them to you. But I bet very few people can actually do that.
So once you've established a no-gift plan, you have to stick to it. But what if someone surprises you with a gift and you didn't get them anything?
I know it makes your heart race. You just feel awful. The best thing to say is, oh my goodness, I'm so surprised. I had no idea you'd be getting me a gift. And I feel awful that I don't have anything for you in return. And then drop the subject right there.
Mickey says that you can open the gift in front of them and then thank them for it, but you don't have to buy them a gift unless you're okay with starting a new gift-giving tradition. So there is this puppy that is quickly warming hearts across the internet. This is Narwhal. Now, he got the name because of the tail growing on his forehead. A lot of people have asked about being able to adopt him. The foster parent in Missouri says that they are monitoring the growth to make sure it won't affect him before adopting him out. Well, next in our lineup, disclaimers on some of the movies on the new Disney Plus streaming service. Warnings about scenes you saw as a kid, but you may not want to show your family now. So we're getting into the debate about if they're really necessary.